And we are back. I'm sorry if I sound funny today. Seasonal allergy gets best out of me. Our next story, Contractor sues and wins. Brent, cover the story.
Yeah, so this next one is a messy renovation case that went off the rails. So you have Paul and Sarah Tracy. They hired Woodstone Group to renovate their home, and it was a big job. We had new additions, windows, doors, siding, roofing, kitchen, and bathroom upgrades. But apparently things did not go as planned. And when the Tracys stopped paying, Woodstone, the contractor, sued. Looks like this case went to trial in 2018. So here's what Woodstone claimed. Number one, breach of contract. Looks like the homeowners failed to pay for completed work totaling over $30,000. Woodstone was claiming that everything was finished except minor punch list items. They also claimed that there was delays caused by the homeowners. So constant change orders, late design decisions, and material selections. And they were failing to make progress payments or were unresponsive to the contractor. Woodstone also claimed that the Tracys never even notified them of any issues and didn't give them a chance to fix things before hiring another contractor. I've heard this before. Now, the Tracys made a counterclaim. They claimed defective and incomplete work, including water leaks due to improper flashing, code violations in the plumbing and electrical, warped flooring, improper grading. They also said that Woodstone walked off the job, which would be abandonment. And they also claimed a violation of the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act, which would be misrepresentation about the scope and quality of work, charging for work not done, and failure to comply with written change order requirements. Then, last thing, delays that made their home uninhabitable. So, the outcome of this, well, the court ruled in favor of the contractor Woodstone. He actually awarded them $33,323. The judge even went as far to reject the homeowner's claim, saying that their testimony was not even credible. This is a quote from the judge. He said the alleged defects were cosmetic at best. The defendants asserted that they were in peril because of the chimney being removed. The evidence was such that there was no dangerous condition. Ms. Tracy failed to complete the necessary appliance choices and other choices to enable the plaintiff to complete the job in a timely fashion. And also, Ms. Tracy ordered the wrong size range. She waffled on the cost of appliances. She waffled on the payments she made. She simply did not recall a lot of details, end quote. The Tracys tried to appeal, but the original ruling was upheld in 2020. And after the ruling, Woodstone had to take action to get payment. The sheriff ultimately seized more than $34,000 from the Tracys' bank account. Wow.
What a crazy story.
The work always sucks once the bill is due.
Yes. Well, I absolutely love the judge, and that's what I tell absolutely everyone. Judges in the United States are really, really good readers of characters. You go in front of the judge, very quickly he figures out who is crook and who is honest. They just read you. Like that's what they do for a living. People say, well, legal expenses and lawyers are expensive and this and that. And I always tell my contractors, if you just tell your story, if you're an honest guy, if you're not hiding and lying, if there's not two sides of the story and you're just trying to portray other side worse than they look, I'm telling you, you have very good chance of winning the case. I'm actually surprised. When I was reading accusations, I'm like, how do you defend yourself against accusations like violation of New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act, misrepresentation about the scope of quality of the work? It sounds horrible, right? Because anybody can do that. It's very easy to like, what's misrepresentation about scope and quality of the work? I mean, oh, you promised me something different, but how do you prove it in court? Think about this. Allegation is one thing, but how are they going to prove it, that you actually did it? It sounds big and broad. I mean, if I have to guess what they do for a living, they're probably some kind of lawyers or just bad people. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jason?
Actually, I'm surprised too. It looks like the customer didn't really have proof or evidence or professional inspectors that came in and really sided with them. So to me, at first, I was surprised that Woodstone won, but the more that you read into it, the defendant or the homeowner couldn't back up their allegations. And so I think that ultimately is what gave Woodstone the win.
Actually, last week we were arguing in comments on a previous video because some contractors say it's too expensive to sue the homeowner. And the very next episode, we have case like this. Yes, lawyers are expensive, but I think losing your reputation is more pricey because if you don't defend yourself, and I guarantee you, if this contractor would not win, if they would not go through the process, this homeowner, someone is telling me, this type of homeowner is the one who's going to be bashing you. This type of homeowner who's going to give you not one, not two, probably multiple reviews. And the way they are preparing for this, I mean, not only they're screwing you out of money, but they're accusing you of pretty bad stuff. I mean, water leaks due to improper flashing for roof and roofing. It's the worst review you can get. My roof leaks after they install it. What can you do to defend yourself? Well, you go to court and you prove in court that that's not factual. That's actually defaming. Misaligned flooring. Oh, I've been in flooring business before. Most floors are misaligned, warped. We're not building your house. We're installing your floors. And if your floor is crooked, I mean, we're going to do our best. But Adam, where are you at on it?
I think that when you're trying to sell a customer, it's so important in setting healthy expectations, because sometimes customers will do this. They'll delay decisions. You won't establish yourself as a contractor that's organized. And then if you don't cut this kind of behavior off early, it tends to end up like this, right? It's like there were signs that this customer is going, and you do too much to try and be a people pleaser, and then you end up in a situation like this at the end. There's probably some discipline or expectation setting that could have happened earlier that could have maybe prevented this. I can't go back in the past and see things, but when I hear about stuff like those delayed decisions and constant change orders, there was probably some, we'll do that to be nice. It's okay. And then when the accumulation of it comes, that's when the problems all of a sudden become unreconcilable, and you have like this thing that blows up and goes to court.
Absolutely agree. I also want to touch punch list items because you do not hold back $30,000 from your contractor for punch list items. It's not like they didn't finish floors, they didn't install the roof, they didn't do the gutters. Punch list should be no more than 10%. On average, 5% of the project. You can't just hold a payment because your floors are squeaky in the bathroom, or grout lines are here missing, and like few dents in the drywall or what's not, right? Punch list is punch list. It's definitely not the full thing. And I think contractor also must have it in a contract that, hey, after we're done, we send you final bill, it's due. Like, you can hold 5%, 10% for the punch list, but not for the $30,000.
Dimitri, I have a story, and I think I shared it with you a long time ago, but I had some homeowners who harassed me for years. And it's a very similar story. Like, this resonates a lot because we went out and did a bunch of repairs on their home. And I would immediately, like after every time we'd come out, just get these weird long emails at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And I mean, they just had this moving target. Well, through me doing some research, I found out that they were professional, like kind of homeowner con artists. The husband was a lawyer, a failed lawyer, but he was a lawyer. And yeah, so anyways, I ended up getting them to go away, but I found out like they scammed a builder, the architect, a HVAC company, myself, and then a metal company.
Wow.
And this is just how they do it. So this smells like that to me.
One of the complaints from Woodstone when they presented the case was failure to make progress payments and unresponsiveness. One of the main reasons remodelers and builders don't make money is because of all the decisions that homeowners have to make. How can we as a contractors put it in a contract that homeowner must be responsive? Because if they did not pick a color of the roof, of the paints, of the floors, if they have to make these constant decisions and they are not responsive, we're losing money. But what can we do to protect us from those? Do we give them deadline to decision like, hey, you have 72 hours to pick a color or else, right? Like, it's kind of lose-lose situation for the contractor, because if you push them to make decisions, you jeopardize relationships, you pushy, you whatever. But then if you don't, you're losing money on the delays. What are your thoughts?
We deal with this a lot, like when we're working with contractors and the stuff that my company does. And it's a tough tight walk to kind of walk, because we have things like project delay fees, and half the contract, if you delay the project by a month, we have to, like, we do have things that we try and impose as penalties for when we're like constantly chasing people to get the project done, because we've had 2-month projects that end up taking 6 months. Sometimes the guy's Israeli and he's going home to Israel to fight in a war, and you're like, that's okay. Then there's other times where people just are all hot and bothered to buy the thing, and then every decision takes too long, and you have to go to your customer now and say, we're charging you $500 because we didn't have to do anything for you for 3 weeks. And then they get a bad taste in their mouth. But it's important to try and educate both parties, like both sides. Doesn't matter who you're dealing with, but you have to educate the other party in the cost of delays in a project. Like, even just having to go back and rethink about a project that you haven't thought about for a while forces you to have to kind of go back 10 pages and get into that mindset to re-engage, like, well, okay, what were we doing for this person? And oh, right. And then this is why we were at this decision. If you wait a period of time, it's more work to go back and process that decision. You have to be able to explain it.
Love it. Couldn't say it better. When we come back, we have update about Renda the roofer here in Minneapolis. And I want to sum up this contractor sues and wins story. Homeowner is not always right. If you're a contractor listening to the show, stand your ground, defend your reputation. They are not always right. You have the right to sue too, and to take them to court if you think the law is on your side. We'll be back.
Directory.com, the safest way to find a roofing contractor. The Directory app is free to use, and all contractors and their jobs come with a $20,000 guarantee. Directory is a concierge service. They find and recommend contractors to use for home improvement and back them up with a $20,000 guarantee. In case a contractor takes your money and runs away, Directory will give you your money back or will finish the project if the contractor disappears and ghosts the project. Directory doesn't give bad recommendations, but in case of a dispute, you are covered with a $20,000 guarantee. Download the app now and hire your next contractor with peace of mind.